On August 4th through the 6th, 2004, the Center for Asymmetric Warfare, known as the CAW, in conjunction with multiple law enforcement emergency response and military agencies, conducted a major Homeland Security, Homeland Defense exercise. The event, known as the Asymmetric Warfare Initiative Exercise for 2004 South, or AWI04 South, united military, federal, state, county, and city authorities, as well as a portion of the private sector, to respond together in a maritime coastal terrorism context, which included the use of weapons of mass destruction. AWI04 South was sponsored through the Technical Support Working Group. It was also the Southern California Live Action Tactical Field Exercise portion of both the United States Northern Command's Determined Promise 04 exercise and the State of California Homeland Security Exercise and Evaluation Program's Golden Guardian 04 exercise. The major goal of AWI04 South was to exercise and explore the interaction of multiple federal, state, and local agencies preparing for and responding to terrorism in a maritime WMD environment. As such, the exercise provided a dynamic learning environment for some 60 different agencies and departments, with approximately 1,180 players participating at 6 exercise venues and some 25 operations centers in Los Angeles and Ventura counties. Participants range from senior LA area FBI agents to several law enforcement agency SWAT teams to a Boy Scout troop from Simi Valley, California, who acted as victims of a terrorist-caused train derailment. Planning for AWI04 South began in the summer of 2003, when the concept of the exercise was briefed to the Los Angeles City Emergency Operations Board. The effort progressed through several major in-progress planning meetings and included a tabletop exercise held 1 June 04, which focused on implementing and applying the Joint Investigative Operations Center concept for the first time. The exercise began early in the afternoon of Wednesday, 4 August, when members of the Joint Investigative Operations Center, which had convened at the Navy and Marine Corps Reserve Center in Los Angeles, were briefed on intelligence summaries, pointing to a possible terrorist threat against Gulf Coast and California ports. AWI04 South ended at 16:33 on Friday, 6 August, following a report by a Long Beach Police Department SWAT team leader that a suspected terrorist ship had been secured. A normal fog-shrouded summer morning at the Port of Los Angeles was blasted awake when a shipping container, which had just been unloaded from a foreign flag vessel docked at the Pasha Break Bulk Terminal, exploded into a huge simulated fireball. The simulated blast, heat, and shrapnel from the explosion cut through the yard and engulfed 2 Los Angeles Air Force Base shuttle buses driving north on Harbor Boulevard carrying 60 military personnel to work from their Fort MacArthur housing. Engine Company 112 from the LA City Fire Department arrived at the scene within minutes, declared the scene a mass casualty incident, and began to call in additional resources as they set up an incident command post with elements of the LAPD and the Port Police. As they approached the shattered container and the victims of the simulated blast, they were handed cards by exercise controllers, telling them that their radiation detection monitors, warned due to a simulated increase in the local maritime security level, were going off. This was to be no accident. The Los Angeles City Emergency Operations Center, or EOC, was activated, followed by the County of Los Angeles EOC, the State Office of Emergency Services Regional EOC, and the State OC in Sacramento. The Los Angeles County Department of Health Services was notified and dispatched their radiological health personnel. A triage area was quickly established in the vicinity of the blast, and rapid extraction and gross decontamination of the victims began by responders wearing protective gear. A plume model was run to calculate the footprint and toxicity levels of the simulated WMD released. Concerned for the safety of the public in the now contaminated area, the incident commander issued a simulated shelter-in-place broadcast for the communities immediately due north of the port, while berth area personnel self-evacuated. On the water near the site of the explosion, heavily armed Coast Guard Harbor Patrol craft maintained watch against any further terrorist actions. A small boat on a course for the Vincent Thomas Bridge, holding 3 suspicious individuals and a sizable package, was stopped, and the occupants were searched before being towed to the pier for questioning. As the exercise progressed, additional simulated activities on the East Coast made it clear that an initially reported attack on the Richmond Raceway was only the first of a series of terrorist events in the area. Several East Coast locations were subjected to simulated attacks with sarin and mustard gas, and tunnels in the Hampton Roads area of Virginia were bombed. The exploded container in Los Angeles was, in fact, a simulated radiological dispersion device, commonly known as a dirty bomb brought into the country in one of the 11 million containers per year that pass through the ports of Los Angeles and Long Beach. The victims were quickly triaged, decontaminated as necessary, and treated for simulated injuries described on a card carried by each victim. Law enforcement personnel in protective gear set up an incident perimeter and began their investigation of the bombing, focusing on the container and its surrounding debris field. Following transport of the victims from the scene, the responders begin the stand-down process, checking themselves, their equipment, and vehicles for radioactive contamination. As they did so, conducting decontamination operations as necessary.